Hypnospace Outlaw aims to capture a time when the internet was not the all-knowing, all-seeing, all-hearing being that it is today. Rather a simpler time when the internet was just a fad. When everybody was making and browsing their cookie-cutter web pages, a place where all of somebody's useless information about their interesting hobbies or cute dogs would be strewn about a webpage with hideous fonts and low-quality JPEGs. It was a glorious time. With that goal in mind, Hypnospace Outlaw goes above and beyond to offer a brilliant time capsule that is clever, heartwarming, and just plain funny. Hypnospace is the mock Windows 95 operating system that Tendershoot has provided, and it allows you to explore its users' web pages to your heart's content. This is certainly where the game shines most, just from the absurd amount of thoughtfully crafted content available to read, listen, and watch. There is a huge amount of these fake web pages with so much care put into each small detail. Every page is a small glimpse into the page creator's life, showing you how they interact with other users, their life outside of Hypnospace, but most importantly, the cybercrimes that they commit. This is where the outlaw portion of the title comes into play. Cybercrimes are quite plentiful on Hypnospace, and as a volunteer Hypnospace enforcer, it's your role to flag them down. Flagging them is a simple procedure of finding an infringement and sending it to head office for review. Figuring out where to find the infringements takes some cleverness and deduction, while the actual act of navigating pages and flagging the infringements is a rudimentary point-and-click affair. Since you won't be needing any lightning-fast reflexes, challenge takes shape in other ways. Some intentional, some not so much. When tasked to find examples of extra-legal commerce, the adventure of narrowing down your search, eventually landing on a culprit's hidden storefront, and then nailing them with an infringement is extremely satisfying. But that line between satisfying and frustrating is a fine one. I often found that my logic didn't line up with what the developers had in mind. I would find content that was, at least to me, fitting into the infringement I was looking for, only to be told that it was in fact not what I was looking for. The obscurity of what was an infringement and what wasn't made it really hard to stay motivated, as following my intuition rarely led to any success. This lack of clarity is also found within the game's aesthetics, but this time it's very much on purpose, and this time it's incredible. Hypnospace Outlaw's visual style has to be one of the most eye-catching I've seen in a while. This mess of chaotic imagery has you revolted, laughing, and confused all at once. While wild and seemingly random, it's done with such an acute awareness of the game's inspiration that every page feels like it has its own rich story or anecdote behind it. For some people, this may be unplayable due to the blurry images, overwhelming visuals, and bad font treatment. But if you're not easily prone to headaches, it's well worth it to explore Hypnospace to its fullest, just to see all of its horrendous, deep-fried, glorious artwork. And it doesn't stop there. The audio too has its fair share of flair that fits into the game perfectly. Any text in the game can be read aloud by your helpful Microsoft Sam-esque cyber buddy Hippie. He'll tell you when you've got mail and lets you know when you're downloading something. He'll even read any name you use for your save game.
Hello Lieutenant Jerd.
There are also loads of subtle, nostalgic sound effects giving HypnoS that authentic 90s feel. But what really steals the show is the game's bizarre and varied soundtrack. At over 75 unique songs, the length is certainly impressive, ranging from ethereal meditation tracks to upbeat synthy tunes to ad jingles. The diversity of the soundtrack makes each new song a treasure to find.
Granny creams, hot butter ice cream. We take the hot butter, mix it with the ice cream, freeze it up cool, you can see it on your screen.
It may not be very interesting to control, and the puzzles it offers are sometimes too obscure for its own good. But that's okay. Hypnospace Outlaw is a piece of art. It demonstrates that games don't need to be full of intense action, character stats, or intricate systems to be fun and interesting. Hypnospace Outlaw is not just some detective puzzle game. It breaks from the mold. It pushes the limit of what a game should be, and does so with so much creativity and purpose. It might not be all that fun to play, but as an experience, I cannot recommend Hypnospace Outlaw enough.